Hey guys, and welcome back to plumbingpartspro.com. As you may have seen a few months ago, we did a video on the American Standard 47086 number 4 flush valve. It was more of an unboxing. So today we're going to do a little more hands-on assembly of that unit and kind of show you how to install that. Check out the video coming up next. Hey guys, so today what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give a hands-on assembly of the 47086 by American Standard, the number 4 flush valve. There's a lot of these one-piece toilets still out there because a lot of these back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s were colored. A lot of colored toilets out there, and you really can't find a colored toilet now other than white, almond, and your basic colors, where these were made in pinks and blues and greens. And if you have a tub that's that color, so that's a big expense to really change those out. So some of the original ones had a flush valve that looked like this. It's the original older style canister flush valve, and it just rode up and down to flush it. But these things had leather seals on the bottom, and they really didn't seal that well. They didn't last that long, and they're hard to repair. So now they've kind of upgraded and made it a little easier. And that's how we're going to show you to get this done. So you would first unscrew the cylinder, and when you have it unscrewed, it looks like this. You can kind of see that leather seal on the bottom there. It's threaded, it's got a large thread that just the whole thing screws off. Set that off to the side, and you would see it's a triangular shaped base. And you would have bolts that go down into the tank that seal this to the toilet. So you would remove those bolts and remove this entire assembly. Pull this up, or make sure you remove the gasket, and then take a rag and just kind of wipe that china and kind of get it good and smooth and clean. So the next step, what we would do, open your packaging up. Comes with 3 of these little rubber plugs, and what that does, that goes in those holes where the triangular base went, and just push those down in there, and that seals those holes off. So then you would take your new brass base plate. It's like this here. The gasket, and that fits just like that. Okay, so then you've got 3 screws and 3 flat brass pieces, and this one mounts a little different from the original. So you would put the screw in one of those 3 holes, and then attach this flat bar to the other side. Excuse me. And you would do that 3 times. So this is what it looks like there. So when you set this in place with all 3 of these screws in place, that's going to go inside the hole in that toilet where the flush valve is. And you would take a Phillips screwdriver and tighten down these 3 holes, or these 3 screws, and that would pull it down tight against the inside of the toilet. So that's going to mount your base, give it a nice, secure, firm base. So your next step, you've noticed here, once you've got this in place, you've got 2 holes here. Okay, and that's where the stand mounts for the tilt assembly, holds this in place. So we're going to kind of do a little assembly on that. This is what the stand looks like. Comes with some very tiny screws, very short screws. So what you're going to do is install this stand on that brass section. Okay, make sure you have. So once you got your base mounted and secured, what we're going to do now is, if you look here, you're going to see two screw holes into the kind of oblong section of this brass, and that's for the stand assembly to mount, and then this will mount to the stand to kind of give it that rocking motion to make a secure base. This is what the stand looks like. Okay, and if you notice, it's got a hollow side and then it's got a side that's flat. Okay, we want the flat side to go on the inside. Should be really only one way you can put it on because of the way the holes line up. If you notice there, see the flat side is here and the hollow side is here. So we're going to take these tiny screws, mount it in place. This one takes a flat screwdriver. It's a little hard to get these things in here with as tiny as these screws are. So now, after we tighten these screws, you'll see the stand there. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our tilt assembly. You're going to have a brass screw with a square head on it. That's going to hold the disc. So you're going to slide that into the bottom underneath the bottom barrel. Okay, you see how that thread hangs down? This is pretty simple to put together, and then you would just thread this disc on there and just snug it up. You don't want to over tighten it. So now you've got your assembly. So now one of the last parts you would do is you would mount the tilt assembly onto the stand. Okay, so we've got two holes here, and then you're going to line the holes up here on that tilt assembly. You got another screw. Push that through with a tiny brass nut. And there you go. That rocks up and down to flush the water. So the last thing you would do is you want to connect the chain to the tilt assembly. What I like to do is take this rubber grommet in the small end of the beaded chain and just kind of start pushing that through that rubber grommet and pull that through. Okay, so that rubber grommet there, and then kind of feed it through the hole in the top of this. Be careful doing this because sometimes that plastic gets a little brittle, so you want to kind of use your thumb and kind of work that rubber grommet up in that hole because you really don't want to damage it. So that's what it looks like. And this you would connect to your flush lever with the clasp that's included, and that just rocks up over like that. I'm going to put the links in the description below. Check it out on the website. I've got several of these in stock. They're pretty good pricing on them. If you guys have any questions about how to install this, let me know. I can answer any questions for you, make another video for you. email me, info@plumbingpartspro.com. Don't forget to subscribe. I got a lot of videos coming up, a lot of reviews, a lot of hands-on stuff, new stuff, old stuff, everything plumbing. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good day.